Alright, you've clicked on this video to improve your gameplay, but how do you do that? Well, that's what we're here to talk about. Before we start, I'd like to go over a quick summary of what we'll review. We're going to go quickly over game sense, why it's so important in tactical FPS, and teamwork. We'll go more in-depth on raw aim and how to best improve at it based on what types of games you play. So, let's get started. Many people think that the best way to learn something is to repeat the exact thing you want to learn it, and you would be right, most of the time. Take, for example, game sense. Game sense is a major aspect of almost every single competitive FPS game out there, from Valorant and CSGO to mobile games like Standoff 2 or even COD Mobile's Diffuse mode. Unless you're playing a battle royale like Apex Legends, you need game sense to literally just play the game. Even at the lowest level of the gameplay, people understand that you need to look in the direction of your enemy. Even Irons in Valorant will have a general understanding of where their enemy is. At least the enemy will appear in their vision before spraying them down. Actually, maybe your Irons won't see the enemy, but even then, the enemy is the one utilizing game sense. So how do I practice this super important ability? Well, the only real way to practice game sense is with real people. There's not really any AI that can perfectly reproduce what a real person will do in a real game, as even in high elo lobbies you have people doing really weird stuff that works, simply because it's unexpected, and the randomness of it is what keeps the game fun. This brings us to our next point: how do I improve? Well, hop into a competitive match and just review yourself. Ask yourself a couple questions each round. What could I have done instead so that we would have won that last round? What did I do differently that made us win that round? What did my opponents do to win that round? Please notice that in all these questions, you aren't blaming your teammates. You're learning from what happened in the past so that it doesn't happen in the future. For example, and here we'll pull a common example from Valorant. A Sova shoots a recon dart into the wall behind a pro team. They get wallbanged by an Odin and lose 2 of their members. After the enemy trades their teammates, they lose the round. Now, instead of blaming each other for getting in their way, preventing them from escaping or whatever, they'll learn from that round. At the highest level, pro players will adapt to things super quickly. That Sova dart used last round? No, someone's pre-aiming that now. They, without realizing, or maybe they did realize, asked themselves those 3 questions. What could I have done instead so that we would have won that last round? Somebody could have shot the dart to prevent the wallbang. What did I do differently that made us win that round? I mean, this question is invalid as they lost that round. Apply this question to future round wins, though. What did my opponents do to win that round? They shot a dart into the wall, allowing them to see us. They also bought an Odin and a gun with high penetration so that they could fire through the wall safely, and they were rewarded with 2 kills. So now, what do? Well, according to the first question, someone should shoot the dart before being scanned. That also happens to be the counter to the third question. Now, in the next round, the Sova shoots the dart into the wall again. However, this time, you communicated to your teammates that he might have done that, and somebody instantly shoots the dart. Your team explodes onto site, kills the 2 defenders sitting there, and plants spike. You end up winning that round. This, however, brings us to our next point: communication. You had to communicate with your team to shoot the dart, you had to calm with your team to make the push on site, you had to communicate the locations of the enemies, etc., etc. You had to receive and give comms. Comms are an essential part of every team and are visible in every single competitive team game. Getting information is useless if all 4 of your teammates are dead. If you die to someone in an off angle, but your team doesn't know about it, then you died for literally nothing. It's the same as if your teammates were dead, because you're not sharing that information. However, let's say you calm their location. Basic, I know, but in low elo lobbies, you'd be surprised at how many things get missed because they aren't calmed. Back to the scene. Your team knows exactly where that guy who killed you is, and they pinch him, and now in dying for nothing and leaving your team in a 4v5, you got traded. And now it's a 4v4. Let's move on to aim. Arguably one of the most important parts of any FPS game, aim is something that everybody wants to be good at. Even at the lowest level of gameplay, be it Bronze 1s in Standoff 2, Silver 1 in CSGO, or Iron 1 in Valorant, everyone has one thing in common, and that is the desire to improve aim. Nobody has perfect aim, not even 10s, simple, yay, even the pros still whiff sometimes. So how do you get better aim? Well, you practice it. Everyone knows that to get better at something, you do it again and again until you learn from it. You may do the thing in different ways each time, however, which tasks do you even practice? The answer is simple. You should play the task that's harder than your goal, but still similar enough to the aspect of aim you want to improve. This may be easier to understand with an example. Let's say you want to improve your tracking. Instead of playing a slow, big task like this, you might want to try this task instead. And another example is to play, instead of, like, let's say speed flick, which is this, you should play this custom task, Distance Flick. The reason behind this is that when you play something harder than the real scenario, the real scenario will seem easier as you get more and more used to the harder scenarios. Looks like my brain is working, so while it's still in full auto, let's go over sensitivity and while it's important. Most people will tell you to play the sensitivity you feel comfortable with, and that much is very true. However, you should definitely pick a sense suitable for your main game if you're just starting. That's not to say that super slow or super fast sensitivities are bad. I mean, I myself use a sensitivity that only gives me a 90-degree turn from my crosshair to the edge of my screen. Keep in mind I'm on a phone, so on a PC that would be similar to moving your mouse from the center of your mouse pad to the edge, and it turns your character 90 degrees. Slow, I know, however I play tactical FPS games where doing 180s are fairly uncommon, unlike a game like Apex Legends or COD, where you want to be jumping, dodging, dashing. In tactical FPS, you can predict where the enemy is, so you don't need to do full screen flicks as much. You can't really do that in a Battle Royale game, though. In summary, your sensitivity should, in the end, be something you're comfortable with, but at the same time, being suitable for the game you're gonna play. I hope you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more. On God, bro. Hey, this is me from the next day after scripting. I just want to say a couple things. So, first, sorry for the abrupt ending. I have no idea how to end videos. There's also probably a ton of other points I probably missed, and maybe some things I may have said wrong, so sorry for those too. If you think there was a mistake that should be fixed, just comment it, tell me, and I'll try to fix it in a later video. That should be it, so have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Or maybe not, but we can hope, no?